kind of scary. Alright, so this is my speech. Please excuse me. Music is defined by Google definitions as an artistic form of auditory communication incorporating instrumental or vocal tones in a structured, continuous manner, known to soothe the savage beast, sure to keep high school-aged teens from becoming drugs of society. Have you ever heard that Mozart makes the baby smarter? Being a musician, knowing how to play an instrument, is said to have a positive effect on academic and professional performance. I've been a vocalist since I was 3 years old, and I've been playing instruments since I was in 7th grade. It's been 6 years now. I've done several research papers on the intellectual effects on music performance and an academic and professional standpoint. I'll be talking about music and how knowing it can help you better perform your academic duties. Now that I've brought this issue to your attention, let's look and see why it's so important. If everyone learns to play an instrument, then according to the studies that have been done, people would end up doing better in their academic lives. According to an article called Music in the Brain from Brain in the Mind magazine, teenagers would, theoretically, stay out of trouble and out of things they shouldn't be doing. If that's the case, then maybe, just maybe, the world would be a better place. If kids have an instrument to play or a song to sing or something to do, they would focus more on that thing than doing things they shouldn't be doing. Then they shouldn't be getting themselves into trouble. Learning to read music and playing an instrument enhances your cognitive abilities, because having to read and play an instrument has at the same time causes your brain to work harder and be able to process more than one thought and action at a time. Right now, people who are musicians are the only ones positively affected by this. People who don't sing or play an instrument, this affects them because not knowing music, because not only is music intellectually stimulating, but it's just wonderful and so much fun to know. If music doesn't become a bigger part of everyone's daily lives, then it could potentially be ripped out of high schools all across America, and the youth who could be learning music would be doing alternative things that are less desirable. In order to achieve universal understanding, the idea that everyone should know music needs to be backed up by plenty of research and proof that music really will make a better world. Big changes like this need to start small, however, perhaps in one community or school, and from there we can hope to expand other communities in hopes to reach ultimately the rest of the country at the very least. Understanding that starting in a small community is not for publicity. It's so that the publicity will help other communities see what we're doing and expand to do their own kinds of adaptation, and having everyone else learn to play music. Big events like this make news all the time, and with all the negativity in the world, everyone wants to hear something good once in a while. By putting forth some kind of action, we satisfy the lack of emphasis in music in high schools, and maybe the community will help with achieving the goal with some people who started this idea. With all that being said, this idea seems pretty far-fetched, doesn't it? But I say to you, no, it doesn't. All big changes have to start somewhere, otherwise you would not be living under the kind of government that we do. Otherwise there would be no education system or any kind of religious system. But I'm not here to discuss politics with you. I'm simply trying to illustrate how something that creates big change starts off as just an idea and a small action. So is this feasible? Absolutely. There just needs to be enough like-minded people to help get things started off. If it works, imagine the things we could change. If kids have an instrument to practice or something that they thoroughly enjoy doing, then maybe illegal things wouldn't altogether stop. Of course there are going to be rebels, but the numbers would drastically diminish. Most of the time when people are stressed or doing things they shouldn't be, it's because they have nothing to take their minds off things or nothing better to do. So they bottle up stress or they go and become drugs of society for lack of a better outlet. Just think about the options here. Would you rather be stressed or relaxed? Yeah, that's what I thought. Just imagine how people will benefit from knowing how to play music. If things continue the way they are now, with little emphasis placed on the performing arts, then there will become a time when performing arts will be taken out of high schools. Just imagine a world without music or theater. How dull would that be? I do know that already. At least elementary schools in Port St. John, that lack music emphasis caused for there to be little club activity to involve music. I have a little brother who hadn't even looked at a piece of music until he was 2 months into 7th grade year at Space Coast, and wishes he could have just been able to learn music earlier. The oldest of my brothers has struggled with several mental disabilities his whole life, including but not limited to ADHD and severe depression. I'm sure he would have ended up doing things he regrets if it weren't for the fact that he joined band. He's now a very active trombone player and loves every minute he spends in band. It's those kinds of stories. It's those kind of stories that have convinced me the power of music can save people from themselves and from undesirable alternatives. I'm aware that some people in this room with us today who know how to play an instrument. So for you, I challenge you to go home, open up your piano, pull out your instrument, or if you sing, open a songbook and let the music come to you. For those of you who don't know much about music, I challenge you to go online tonight, find an instrument you like, and just learn about it, because the first step to learning an instrument is gaining knowledge about one. There are many instructors and tutors around, and if you'd really like to learn to play an instrument, I can give you more details on who to call, where to go, and the best way to do things is. So in summary, all that I just said comes down to one basic fact. Music is the auditory chicken soup for the soul. If it's been proven to help enhance the cognitive abilities of normal people and is shown to be better alternatives to stress and the pains of our daily repetitive lives, then I ask you, why is something so valuable be deemed so important? Thank you.